Donald Trump continues to fall further and further behind, as the latest polling average has Kamala Harris predicted to win at 47.5%, opposed to Donald Trump's 45.7%. You can see here that Trump was comfortably ahead of Biden, but when Biden dropped out, things suddenly became neck and neck almost instantly. And now this gap is widening further and further and further. Donald Trump and the Republicans are clearly slipping, and they need to do something. Donald Trump does not appear, however, to be interested in helping. No, instead he's thrown fuel on the fire with his recent abysmal rally in Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, it's true. Donald Trump is not really doing so great. In fact, since Kamala Harris has been introduced, Trump has reportedly even been in a foul mood and has been calling Kamala some, not so friendly names. Reports are saying that Trump, behind closed doors, is referring to Kamala Harris as a really classy from the man leading the traditional values. Former President Trump has been in a foul mood the past few weeks and has repeatedly called Vice President Harris a bitch in private, the New York Times has reported. So that's really quite funny. Kamala is leading in the polls. Trump decides to start throwing around playground insults. Real classy. Please, Trump, keep it up, because I'm serious. What you're doing there, it's real great. Great for the Democrats, of course. So this recent rally that Trump hosted did not fare very well for Trump, even outraging multiple different Republicans. We will get to that in just a little bit. But Trump also says a lot of crazy and unhinged shit throughout this rally. And I gotta be honest, I'm starting to question his mental faculties, you know? Trump might just be a little bit too old for all this.
But she refuses to even say the words illegal alien or radical Islamic terrorist. She says nope. And the main thing, think of this, she wants to let mass amnesty and citizenship. She wants all illegals to have mass amnesty. Everybody can.
Obviously, when he says she, he's referring to Kamala Harris here. Okay, so clearly what Trump is referring to is this: immigration agencies ordered not to use term illegal alien under new Biden policy. Yeah, why not though? Like, those terms, other people. If you're like, you are an illegal, your being here is illegal. How do you think that sounds? Of course. That separates people. And a lot of the times this is an unnecessary separation, because we already know that immigrants, whether they are undocumented immigrants or not, contribute significantly to the economy, and they pay more in social services than they take out. So just using different terminology, so what? The world becomes a little bit slightly more accepting, and Donald Trump is throwing a hissy fit about this. Still though, this is not the same as Kamala Harris, like, refusing to say the word or something.
Even criminals, because many of them that are coming in are from prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylums.
Now he's talking about mental institutions and jails, another gigantic unfounded claim. We know that undocumented immigrants actually commit less crime than native-born Americans. So I have no idea where the fuck he's getting this idea from. It's a little ironic that he's speaking about mental institutions, because in a minute, you're gonna hear him begin to ramble about Hannibal Lecter. But it kind of seems like Trump is the one that might need to be in the mental institution here.
They hate when I use Dr. Hannibal Lecter as the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, they go, look at all the media back there. Look at all the fake news. That's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of fake news, Bert.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter? He knows that Hannibal Lecter isn't real, right? Or is this just one of the many falsehoods that Trump believes? Election fraud? Hannibal Lecter is a real person? I mean, seriously? This is getting predictable. Embarrassing, bro. But seriously, if Biden said something, if Biden had a gaffe like that, conservatives would be all over it like vultures.
But she doesn't want to get involved. Look, here's a story. When a politician says something young in life, that's where they are. That's what they believe in. defund the police, all the things that she said. That's where she would go if she ever got the chance. She's never going to get the chance. Our country will be destroyed. She's worse than Biden. She's worse than Bernie Sanders.
Wait, is he actually trying to pull the age car now in reverse? There's a story when a politician says something young in life. That's where they are. That's what they believe in. So he's actually trying to say that he's like the old and wise Donald J. Trump. And it's Kamala Harris who's the silly juvenile playing with the fidget spinners and the gizmos and gadgets. Really, bro? Really? How old is Kamala Harris even? She's 59 years old. A little bit past the young in life stage, I would say.
She's Bernie Sanders, but not as smart. That's the way I view her. I said she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders, and actually...
Everything he says is kind of a projection, right? When he says she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders, what he means is that Bernie Sanders was an okay guy because he never had a chance against Trump. Kamala Harris does. She's actually kicking his ass right now. I mean, we hear about Trump calling Kamala Harris a bitch. Meanwhile, if you look at the polling data, Kamala Harris is making Trump her own bitch. So seriously, for him to say that she's just a dumb version of Bernie Sanders, all he really means is she's a progressive that's an actual threat.
She supports mandatory gun confiscation. I'm sure you wouldn't mind that. Would anybody mind if they came into your house and took away your gun or your guns? I'm shocked. I'm shocked to hear that.
Mostly false. She said, I support a mandatory gun buyback program for assault weapons. We found no examples that she supports mandatory gun confiscation now, and the majority of guns sold in the US are handguns. As Vice President Harris has urged states to pass red flag laws and supported federal gun safety legislation that included funding for mental health and school security resources. It seems as though there's really no evidence that she's for some kind of mandatory gun confiscation. It sounds like she just wanted some mandatory gun buyback program in regards to a specific type of weapon. Even more so, this is quite good. The fact that Harris is urging states to support federal funding for mental health, that is crucial because Republicans want to say, it's not the gun, it's not the gun, it's the person, but then they don't care about the people. If it's not the gun and it's the person, then clearly it's a problem with that person's mental well-being that they would take a gun and use it in such a horrible and violent way. Therefore, we should be funding more mental health stuff. Kamala Harris actually has a legitimate policy here. Republicans, they just want small government.
Now you're totally defenseless in your house. No, you can't do that. She said that a 70 to 80% tax hike is, quote, a bold idea that should be discussed. Oh, that's nice. She co-sponsored the $100 trillion Green New Scam.
I don't know where the fuck he's getting the 80% crap. One of her ideas popular with other Democrats would raise the top marginal income tax rate on the top 1% of earners from the current top rate of 37% up to 39.6%. As for a much broader rate hike, we don't know. In 2019, she floated a 4% tax idea she called an income-based premium on households making more than $100,000 a year. Okay, so I see zero evidence supporting what Trump is saying. Why am I not surprised at all? It's also really hilarious that the Democrats are always talking about raising taxes for like people who are making over $100,000 a year, people making over $400,000 a year, millionaires, billionaires. But then you have a bunch of these chuckle fucks at Trump rallies. Don't raise the billionaires' taxes. They're getting paid like minimum wage, pumping gas all night long at 7-Eleven, and they're over here angry that Elon Musk might have to pay more in taxes.
To stop people from eating red meat, she wants to get rid of your cows. No more cows. No more cows. Oh, it's serious. You know, in Europe, it's...
I'm sorry that I'm pausing this so much. I know that like we're hearing him say two things before I pause it, but the man is so insane, so delusional. I think at this point, this is just elder abuse to have somebody this old and deteriorating even up here rambling. But sorry, the reason I have to keep pausing it is because Trump just keeps on lying. Fact check, Kamala Harris does not want to ban red meat, as Trump keeps falsely claiming. Harris said that she loves cheeseburgers and that she thinks updating dietary recommendations to encourage healthy, environmentally friendly eating is a better approach than banning certain behaviors. So once again, Trump is lying. Now, sure, we have a lot of economic issues right now. We have a lot of problems going on. But what are the Republicans concerned about? What's Trump concerned about? He's concerned about 2012 political rhetoric, and he's concerned about saying Merry Christmas again. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not.
She wants to get rid of these two very special words. You remember I used to bring it up all the time in 2016. By the way, we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016, but these are minor details.
He's continuing to push election fraud, once again bringing into question his mental state.
We did much better. They said, what was the difference? I said, well, we got millions of more votes, as you know that too, but we're not going to let that happen again. Ready? The two words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Now she's denying it, and then they found the tape last night.
What she actually said was that Americans shouldn't say Merry Christmas until there was a permanent status for some illegal immigrants. She said, quote, and then we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas. These children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? They will not have a Merry Christmas, she said at a 2017 press conference. Again, conservatives are outraged at the fact that somebody is showing empathy and basic fucking humanity. I know to these monstrous robots, they have no idea what those concepts are, but yeah, Kamala Harris never said she wants to get rid of saying Merry Christmas or ban people from saying that or anything else.
This November, Georgia is going to tell Kamala that we will not let her turn America into a communist country. Remember I used to say, we will never be a socialist country. Well, I was right. They skipped socialism. I was right. It will never be a socialist country. I'd say that. State of the Union, I said, we will not ever allow our country to be a socialist country. I was right. It's gone communist. It skipped socialism.
So the first thing that I think is really hilarious, Trump's claiming that we skipped socialism and then just became communist. First of all, what the fuck are you talking about, you delusional old man? Where's your evidence for that? Second of all, socialism pretty much necessarily needs to come before communism. We can't just go to communism without any socialism here. That doesn't make any sense, and it once again demonstrates that Trump doesn't even have even the slightest basic clue of general Marxist theory. And mind you, I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist. However, if Trump is going to claim that other people are, he better get his fucking facts straight. Trump gave this speech on August 3rd, so if he was claiming that Kamala is a communist or something, then he must just be fuming at the latest polls showing that Harris is now more trusted on the US economy than Trump. This survey, conducted for the Financial Times and the University of Michigan Ross School of Business, is the first monthly poll to show the Democratic presidential candidate leading Trump on the economy since it began tracking voter sentiment on the issue nearly a year ago. 42% of voters said they trust Ms. Harris more to handle the economy, compared with 41% who said they put their faith in Trump. So yes, it is close. However, Kamala Harris is now edging past Trump, and this is the first time a Democrat has been leading, so this is a very, very good sign. And it's also a sign that Trump will probably be coping even more. Sorry, Trump, I know you're whining that Kamala Harris is a communist or something, but it's just not selling anymore. It's not working when it comes to the American public, because now the American public is even starting to trust Harris more when it comes to the economy.
By the way, I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made? Now, look, we want to get people in. We got 59 hostages. I never paid anything.
Like, what? I'm sorry, just what? Maybe try not to congratulate the fascistic dictator. Maybe, just maybe try and avoid that. Not only was Trump just kind of meandering around the points, just saying a bunch of nonsense, sounding a lot like an old loony man yelling at cloud, he also somehow managed to shoot himself in the foot when it came to Georgia's support. That's right. All Trump had to do was show up, say, hey, everybody, conservatives good, Democrats bad, peace out, make America great again, okay, bye. Like, that's all Trump had to do. But no, instead, he decided to start a fight with the Georgia governor, who is, no lie, more popular in the state of Georgia than Trump. And the only reason Trump did this petty bullshit is because the Georgia governor wouldn't cave to Trump's bitchy, bratty demands that they somehow acknowledge that there was election fraud. We know there was an election fraud, and the Georgia governor, as a Republican, still decided to take the path of honesty. And he said, Trump, you can get lost. There's not election fraud here. And now years later, Trump is still mad about it.
That's great. And those three people are incredible. Let me give you the bad news. It's that for whatever reason, Brad Raffensperger and Brian Kemp, your governor, who I got elected, by the way. If it wasn't for me, he would not be your governor. I think everybody knows that. He's a very disloyal person, isn't he? Very disloyal. But these two are doing everything possible.
See right there, like that's a huge flaw in Trump's thinking, and it becomes so apparent when he says dumb shit like that. Being loyal is not always a good thing. Hot take. Somebody who is more loyal to Trump than, say, the Constitution, that's not a good thing. The rift between Kemp and Trump widens after he calls the governor disloyal at the weekend rally. In reality, Kemp enjoys high approval ratings consistently in the 60% range. Strategists like Brian Robinson said Trump needs to be careful of alienating the Georgia voters who think Kemp is doing a good job. It doesn't make sense to go after Brian Kemp, he said. Governor Kemp is not just the state's top elected official, he's the most popular elected official in the state of Georgia. Again, this rally took place August 3rd, and today, August 11th, Trump is still ahead of Kamala Harris. However, you can see right here that on July 30th, Trump was ahead of Harris by 1.4 percentage points, with a polling average of 45.6% to Harris's 44.2%. Then August 3rd rolls around, Trump does that abysmal rally. By August 11th, Trump lost 1 percentage point. The former president's new polling average is 45.8%, while Harris is at 45.4%. So Trump has literally made it now even easier for Kamala Harris to potentially win Georgia. Now, Trump does not necessarily need Georgia to win the election. However, Georgia would be a very valuable state to win because it would give the GOP a comfortable position when it comes to the Electoral College. So Trump continues to just ramble and flounder and whine about Kamala Harris. However, he still is unable to land a really solid insult or anything that kind of sticks. He has not been able to take down Kamala Harris. Not even close. In fact, Kamala Harris continues to surpass Trump the more and more and more polling data is collected. It's not looking good for Trump, and I think him getting up on stage and isolating Georgia Republicans and blabbering about Hannibal Lecter probably isn't the best way to win more votes. But then again, keep up the good work, Trump. Seriously, you're doing a really great thing for the Democrats. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to click that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content, and if you want early access to content, exclusive emotes, and exclusive content, consider becoming a member today. Thanks guys. Peace. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today.